Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here. Alright, so in this video, I want to share with you guys how I sold a rusty old 1990s freezer on Facebook Marketplace for $80. So this is how it came about that I sold this really rusty old freezer, because it's not an item that I would typically choose to sell. Like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I was visiting my parents and I was leaving for the evening, and I was walking out the front driveway and I thought it was a fridge, and it was just sitting on the side of my parents' driveway. And then I turned to my mom and I was like, what is this? What are you doing with a fridge on the driveway? And then my mom said, oh no, it's a freezer and your dad's gonna go throw it at the dump. And then I'm like, don't you have to pay to throw something like this away? And then she's like, oh yeah, I think so. And then I said, oh, is it broken or something? And she's like, oh no, it still works. We just need to get rid of it, make some space. And then I said, hold on a second, this freezer is a full-size standing upright freezer and it still works? And she's like, yeah. And then I'm like, you could totally sell this. And then she's like, oh, are you sure? Look at it, it's rusting. And by the way, she's speaking in Tagalog, which is Filipino language. She's not actually speaking the way I'm saying she's speaking. It's all in a different language. And so instantly I was like, you could totally sell this. And then I said, okay, you know what? Next time I come over, don't throw it away. Tell Dad, don't throw it away. I'm going to take pictures of it and I will sell this rusty old freezer. And here's the listing right here. So I did end up selling it for $80, even though I originally started at $90. But this was this rusty old freezer. It was literally from like the 90s, maybe even late 80s, the way the design, like it just looked really... It had that beigey type kind of look that was from the 80s and 90s. And it was completely rusting. You can see on the side, and even on the back was worse, which I didn't take a picture of. But the inside, you can see, looked pretty good. Like my dad did a good job of cleaning it up. And the inside of it looked pretty clean and pretty nice. Just like the outside looked horrible. It just looked like a horror movie, to be honest. And so this was the actual listing, and I love talking about these kinds of products because most people will just dismiss them and think nobody's gonna want this. And so this is the reason why I specifically talk about these ones, because it's so easy to sell, you know, like a cell phone, a camera, a laptop, whatever. I like talking about the weird stuff, like when I sold the broken laptop. If you guys haven't seen that video, I literally sold a broken laptop for $100. And it's all how you frame things. So for this particular listing, I titled it as Deep Freezer Standing Upright Working. So this isn't, you know those freezers where they're wide and they're flat and you kind of have to like reach in them. It's hard to get stuff out of them, but this one was a nice one. It's designed like a fridge. So that's why I put that in the title. And then I did start off at 90. And I put the dimensions, right? Now here's a line that I put in here. I put needs a paint job for the exterior, but otherwise works great for extra frozen food storage. And then I put must pick up in Richmond, because there's no way that I'm delivering this or we're dropping this off somewhere. So I put it up, and then for the course of about 3-4 days, I was getting inquiries from people, and they were like, is this available? Is this available? But because it was so huge, most people were saying, oh, will you deliver this? Will you deliver this? And then I was like, no, sorry, we can't deliver. Must pick it up because it's a freaking freezer. It's huge, it's heavy, and I don't even have a vehicle to fit that in. And even if I did, it's way too heavy. So finally, after about 4 or 5 days, I got someone who wanted to check it out. And they came over, they saw it. As soon as they saw that my dad plugged it in and it worked, Then they were like, great. And they did bargain for $10 less, which I was like, whatever. I was going to be happy with 50 bucks with this thing because it literally looked like garbage. But the inside wasn't. And these are my favorite kinds of things to sell, is when everyone's doubting that it's not going to sell. My parents were doubting. They're like, oh, do you really think that someone's going to come get this? And I said, don't worry, someone's going to buy this. And so when my parents got the money and it sold, they were so happy and so excited and they couldn't believe it. And I was like, yeah. So if you have items like these, don't underestimate them. It's free to post on Facebook Marketplace. And like I said, my dad was going to go drop this off at the local dump, and you have to pay to dump this. In this case, we flipped it, we got it picked up and removed, but someone paid us for it. So it was a win-win for everybody. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys. These are my favorite kinds of items to sell. If you have something like this, I would highly suggest listing them up, having someone pay to pick it up and remove it for you. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Back from the dead.